From the USA International Speedway, we welcome you to round number 3 of the XCAL Racing Web Shop Series. 275 laps take us around USA International Speedway for what should be a fun short track race going back to iRacing's roots. So glad you could join us on How to Suck at iRacing. Marty Sakala with you alongside Robert Colgan and Doug Burns. Doug Burns pushing the buttons in studio tonight as well. Robert, we get set for the third race of the season and our first legit short track race of the season. What comes into these drivers' minds as we enter USA tonight?
Well, the big thing is going to be clean. That's a big thing with the incident points going up again this year. And but this is going to be the first real race XCAL's had this year so far, I think.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. Doug, as we come into tonight's race so far, 2 different races, 2 different winners, and the same first name.
Yeah, it is an interesting start to the season, but, it's going to be a different winner tonight. Just about guaranteed. No telling who's going to win this. We've seen some really, really close finishes here. We've seen some really exciting finishes here. Some of the best racing you'll ever see is XCAL at USA.
Absolutely, that's for sure. So we'll begin by talking with some of the drivers here. Let's begin with the driver of the number 42 in Noah Carpenter. Noah, you have moved up to 3rd in the points at Rockingham after penalties. I should say moved to 3rd at Rockingham after penalties. With being on the podium after last week, what's the confidence like as you enter this weekend?
Yeah, Charlotte didn't really go how we wanted to, finish in like 38th or something, so had a lot of ground to make up, so we got to work.
Started 4th tonight, but it's a 275 lap race tonight. How key is it though to be starting up near the front?
With these XCAL Web Shop Series races, it's all about strategy. I mean, track position truly helps, but this car is really good. J&S gave me an awesome car. Joe, Danielle, everybody, GP Land, all of them.
All right, we'll let you go, man. Best of luck tonight. Have fun.
Thank you.
Noah Carpenter is set to go. Noah Carpenter comes into the standings 14th. Again, he starts 4th. Let's talk with as well Brett Meckes. Meckes is driving in our race tonight. Meckes, you come in here joining Fastlane Motorsports recently. How has that helped you out?
Doug, hey Marty. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of out of a team coming into this year, and Jeff offered his team up for me, and I've been getting set, help with my setups and help in practice and driving just by the whole team. It's been great.
Starting in position number 14 tonight. What's the game plan as somebody that starts mid-pack?
Well, this is the first time I've run an open setup on this track, and I wasn't with XCAL last year when they ran this track, so I'm pretty much, just on the plan of keeping it clean, making sure I stay out of everybody's way, and just try to stay in it to the end. Don't make any stupid mistakes.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck tonight.
Hey, shout out to Aaron for putting on such a great show. My sponsors, Fastline, Colgan Enterprises, and the Web Shop Series. Go get your Kyle Bartles t-shirt for the one he had on the first race of the year.
All right, Brent, have fun tonight.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Meckes in the number 44. Right with that, Robbie gave you a nice shout out.
Oh yeah. Brent's a good guy. He's been showing some real good strength this year. Been nice having him on the Fastlane team.
That's awesome. Let's talk to the driver of the number 55, Albie Hewins. Albie, you've begun the season with a 17th and a 13th. What's it going to take to try and break into the top 10 points? You are 15th in points coming in.
Well, I think the biggest thing is staying consistent and getting finishes in these races. I'm going to hope for a top 15 tonight. This ain't one of my favorite tracks, but we'll do what we can do. Hopefully get some good luck.
Hey, Albie, I have to ask, I broadcast you more than once a week, and I have to say, since the start of the new year, you are suddenly a lot faster and obviously a lot better luck. What's the biggest change coming into this year?
Well, I've had a lot of help. We got some good teammates. Part of over there now, Zach's helped me tremendously since he joined the team last year. I mean, I've had a lot of help there, and I guess I stopped. I don't know what I'm looking for. I stopped being so nice. I guess I lost some respect for a few guys and just, run my race rather than theirs.
Albie, one more question before we let you go. So you settle this is one of your favorite tracks, and you start in the 16th position. Is your game plan to try to race just to ride around, hopefully, and just try not to kill the car?
Yeah, you definitely got to keep the car in one piece here. I think there's going to be some shit to avoid. There ain't a lot of room. I'm going to try to follow the team.
All right, man. We wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, and check the Web Series out. We got a couple of sponsors too. Playing with Karma Paint Shop. You guys in the broadcast, Doug, Marty. Thanks a lot. You guys did a good job.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man. Good luck. Albie Hewins getting set to go in the number 55. We haven't even taken the green flag yet, Robert, and he is already, we've already made this broadcast rated R.
Yeah, that's a lot of the drivers. What you see is what you get. I'm one of them, and I enjoy people just like that.
Alrighty, let's talk with our pole sitter here for tonight's 17th career pole, the all-time leader in Austin Edwards. The champ is here, third race this season, Austin, and no question you got a chance to win this one. Just talk about how you're feeling coming in.
Yeah, Marty, I'm a little bit on the edge right now. We're struggling with this car here. We were fast here last year, but obviously with XCAL, as always, the competition's been ramping up, so we're messing with some stuff, trying some new things. I don't know if we feel confident enough in our long run speed to be able to win here tonight, but at the end of the day, we're looking like we're tied for the points lead with Bartles, so if we can just finish ahead of a couple of guys, we'll have that, and that'll feel good going into the next track.
Absolutely. In addition, is it probably maybe as well some rule changes or some changes that iRacing made to the Street Stock setups that may be affecting you to begin the season?
Yeah, of course, iRacing's always updating stuff. We had a bit of a hiccup with it last year. Went to tracks like Southern National and whatnot. We were just off pace. We couldn't find the last little bit we were missing. But like I said, we're trying some new stuff tonight, so it's only a telltale to see if it's going to work out or not. But obviously, we're going to do everything we can with the fuel strategy, and sometimes we get lucky out here. So see if we can add to the wins list. But until then, we'll stay humble and see what we can do.
Alrighty, man. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you, Marty.
Austin Edwards getting set to go here. Tonight's is brought to you by the XCAL Racing Web Shop at xcalracing.com/shop for all your XCAL racing needs. Latest products include the Kyle Bartles XCAL Racing Web Shop Full 20 winner, our 2023 Series t-shirts, and even massive whale heating as well. Let's break down the race format here for you tonight. It's 275 laps, 206 1/4 miles. Fuel window just about 58 to 65 laps here. Robert, we're looking at probably just about a 4 or 5 stop race here tonight.
Yeah, it's all going to depend. I think if we get an early caution, which I think we will get a couple, possibly, that's going to really mix into the strategy big time.
Absolutely as well. Colgan, let's talk about this race as well real quick before we get going here with our starting lineups. USA International Speedway, this is a track that every driver pretty much begins racing on. This is pretty much a 1 to 2 group track. The 2 lower groups are really the best place to go. But how tough is it on to try and ride the low line in the center of the corners as these turns just feel long?
Yeah, it's a little bumpy. I mean, if you can get your left sides, unless they change it down there on that yellow strip, you can actually get a little bit of grip around there and hook your car. But it is tough. I mean, I was watching some guys last night in the heat races, and cars were bouncing around a little bit. So if you get on it down your outside, pinches you off a little bit, y'all could be going for a ride.
Doug, is there anything else you want to add?
Well, you got Austin Edwards back in the car. You got Parker Retzlaff here. You've got several people. One guy missing is Kyle McRecken. Martin, last week's winner, could not find a ride for this week. That is definitely an interesting situation that I'm sure will have some sort of impact on the race.
Absolutely. Warm-ups are in the books. Parker Retzlaff gets in a 22:45. Kendrick Pryor second quick at a 22:47. Noah Carpenter third at a 22:49. Zach and Austin Edwards fourth and fifth, 22.5s and 22:51s. Got a minute to grid, so it's time to meet the field. Here is your starting lineup. Austin Edwards with his first pole of the season at a 22:455. Parker Retzlaff next to him. That's the front row. Row number 2, Alex Krapster in the 29 and the 42 of Noah Carpenter, teammates of the JNS Racing Aces camp. Row number 3, Adam Gillia in the 25 and Gerald Thanos Poole in the 33. Row 4, Jonathan Bronson in the 69, Nice Machine, and Zach Edwards in the 30. Rounding out the top 10, the 2021 Series champion and Luke Turpin in the 3, and Tyler McRae in the 11. Row 6, Jeremy Gilliatt in the 27, and Ryan Seams in the 131. Row 7, Edmund Jones in the 51, and Brett Meckes in the 44. Row number 8, Jim Johnson in the 24, and Albie Hewins in the 55. Row 9, Jose Gaudino and Joe Campbell in the 63. Row 10, Derek Colson in car number 5, and the 10 of Stephen Rex. Row 11, John Bradley in the 26, and Stephen Wetton in the 15. Row 12, Sean Andrews in the 04, and Scott Gilliatt, a third Gilliatt in the field in the 21. Row 13, Kendrick Bryan in the 66, Mason Foster in the 96. Row 14, Jeff Benjamin in the 7, Kyle Barnes in the 94. Rounding out the field tonight, Daniel Smallwood in the 46. No call for Luke Turpin to take the green flag here, as we are a lap and a half away from going racing. It's time to take some predictions here for tonight's race, gentlemen. Doug, I'll begin with you. Who wins tonight?
It's a crapshoot. I don't think you can make a prediction here. Retzlaff will be fast, but this will more than likely come down to a last lap side-by-side battle.
Colgan, who are you picking to win?
I'd say the 29 of Alex Krapser. I was watching him in the heat races. He's looking for a little redemption for the little hiccup last week coming out of turn 4. Getting very good at it.
Krapser very good at tracks like this. That leaves me. I'm going to go with the driver that starts on pole position. I think Austin Edwards takes the EHP number 18 to victory lane. First short track race of the year for the XCAL Racing Web Dash Series, and we're glad you could join us on How to Suck at iRacing. 27 strong are set to take Aaron Hellebusch's green for 275 circuits. Well, where else would you rather be than right here, right now, XCAL style? Off at turn number 4, Edwards and Retzlaff will bring him to green, and it's showtime here in Lakewood, Florida.
By side for a lap or so until everybody settles in. Austin quickly shooting out to the lead, but Retzlaff right there, and that'll be interesting to see these two battle it out on a short track, as Retzlaff is already looking for the lead here. We talked to him last week. He is extremely fast. He's a pro driver. He drives in the Xfinity Series. He's been pro every week.
Set up that crisscross maneuver off at turn number 4. Austin Edwards credited with leading lap number 1. Now he counters back underneath the 0-0 for the race lead, as it's a drag race entering turn number 3. Edwards wants to clear the 0-0 and finds a lane just in front, or finds a gap just in front of Alex Krapser. This is the battle, Robert. Everyone is watching closely today.
Yeah, Parker was pretty fast in his heat race. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention with Austin's heat race, to be honest with you. I know I streamed it, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Then you got Alex Krapser right there, and he's real sneaky. He was sneaky in his heat race. Took away the win, I believe. Yeah, he won his heat race, I think.
Hey, we actually have a prediction in the comments. The guy that started in 11th already up into 8th. Prediction is first-time winner Ryan. See, holy cow! Looked at Ryan at just the right time. The 30 just got on the brakes really hard, and Seams had to check up. He lose a couple spots that he had picked up, but back in the throttle, and Ryan Seams fan club said tonight will be his first win.
That was a close call with Zach Edwards in the 30, who's running in the 7th spot. Retzlaff has cleared the 18, and now we start to see a train to out corners 3 and 4. Robert, this should be something that we pretty much should expect here, especially in the long run. Into some passing, we'll see a little bit of a train coming out.
Yeah, I mean, if we get into some different, some long green flag rounds, we're going to see some different pit strategy. Carter had a little odd pit strategy last week at Rockingham. I was scratching my head about it. So he might be running something a little odd. Austin, we already know he does odd things with pit strategy. So if we can get some long green flag runs, it's going to be interesting to see where these two end up at.
The 00, part of Danielle Sargent's Race Aces camp here, as he currently commands the troops out in Bay. Good racing happening for 8th. That's Edmund Jones that challenges on Ryan Sears. On Gerald Poole, I should say, 9. 33, stuck in the battle here, Doug. 27, who is inside. Poole currently up in no man's land early in this one.
I'm a bit surprised. I know Gerald spent a lot of time at this track over the years. That's have a lot of drivers, but I know Gerald loves this track and is generally really fast. This could be the track, his best qualifying over the season so far. Well, I'd keep a close eye on that car. I think he's probably got the long run speed for it here tonight, and he's going to be in this thing before it's all said and done. But man, there's just a lot of guys out here, especially when you consider that every driver starts a rookie series as a rookie in iRacing in a street stock here in Lakeland. I mean, this is like coming home to some drivers.
Put a period on the Luke Turpin situation. We mentioned he did not make the call to grid. His connection dropped due to upload package loss. So right now, Luke Turpin does not start the race. That's an unfortunate circumstance on his end. But we've got a breakaway of the top 7 cars. Zach Edwards, Ryan Seams separated by 1.4 seconds. That's the gap between 7th and 8th. Remember, Ryan Seams did have to get the binders big time on the 30 to prevent from getting into him and maybe turning him around. That's led to a huge gap at the moment. Now, if you're the top 7 at the moment, Robert, you're probably feeling really comfortable.
Yeah, get in a groove. Don't burn your stuff up. Track's going to change, I think, as the night progresses. Just keep your head above the water and just make sure you put yourself in a position for the end. We got a little bit of a battle here with James Johnson and Kendrick Cryer right now and Gerald Poole.
Slowly, Poole was stuck up on the outside for probably at least 2 laps now as Cryer, who's currently your biggest mover from the start of the race, up 10 spots, making 11 if he gets past Gerald Poole here into the corner, which he does. You've got Stephen Rex back there in the 15th spot, Albie Hewen 16th, Mason Foster 17th, and company all behind Doug at the moment as you see Rex inside.
Yeah, a lot of battling going on. And speaking of big movers, probably another big mover, Daniel Smallwood, his first race in quite some time in XCAL competition, already up 10 spots into 28th. The guy started up 10 spots into 18th. After starting at 28th, he's going to be one to watch all night.
First start for him since 2014 in the XCAL Racing Web Dash Series. So glad he has made a return in the Moonlight Speed Concepts machine. Meanwhile, Foster passes Hewins for the 16th spot. Foster also a driver that is on the charge at the moment here, Robert. Up 9 spots in the JNS Racing number 96.
Yeah, he's a pretty good little short track driver. He's come a long way from, 2 years ago, I think, when he was a rookie. He's made a mark at the short tracks here. He can be a force to be reckoned with.
Want to make a correction? The Gerald Poole owned number 96. I believe that's still an alliance though with the JNS Racing clan. A lot of some double, some side-by-side racing throughout the corners here as you see Poole still stuck up high, losing a lot of time here at the moment. But we focused back on the front of the field. The top 2 having increased a small gap. Retzlaff with a 6.5 lead on Austin Edwards. Alex Krapser now 1.1 seconds behind the leader. And as we start to get obviously longer into these runs, even with the train, we'll see those gaps really start to increase, Doug.
Yeah, they really, really will. And they won't pack back up until lap traffic. And then the question will become, a lot of this will come down to whose team, whose friends, whose enemies. That could be a deciding factor for a lot of people here tonight. Obviously, you mentioned the JNS team. You've got a big team there, or a big conglomeration with JNS Flying Aces, Flaming Karma, all those teams that work together so closely, they're going to cooperate as much as they possibly can. So these guys, some of these guys will have an easier time than others. It's going to be fun to watch as they come through lap traffic. But again, some guys are not going to want to give up their opportunity to stay on the lead lap and fight back. And man, we've seen it before here as well. As this track, as they stretch out, this thing gets greener and greener the longer they go. The only thing that could throw a monkey wrench in that would be pit stops.
8 seconds away from catching Scott Gilliatt, the final car on the lead lap. But we just talked about Kendrick Cryer a couple moments ago. He is on a charge now in the 11th position. Remember, Robert, this was the track where he won his first career XCAL race at, and that took place at USA International Speedway on August 3rd, 2021. Won it in an amazing photo finish over Alex Crapser to get it done.
Yeah, it was a little controversial with some people. I don't blame them. I mean, you know, your first win sitting right there in front of you. You're going to do anything you can, and I didn't really see anything dirty about it. So yeah, I mean, he has a good chance at defending that title. You know, winning that race. I mean, it's sad Luke Turpin. Well, I see Luke Turpin's just reconnected. So I don't think he's going to defend his title this year from winning this last year.
Absolutely. What was a great race there. If you flash back to last year's race, it was him and Austin Edwards going for the win on the white flag. They caught heavy lap traffic that were part of a 5 to go or under collision. And Luke Turpin slid his way through to take the victory. Austin Edwards got held back big time as Turpin opened up the gap as he took what was his first win of 2022 at the time. That was actually
spin. Edmund Jones spinning.
It spun out, gets the car back going here. Go ahead, Doug.
I was just going to say, Matika just dropped in to say hello, and then immediately after, Edmund, a little bit of bad luck here. Let's see, it looks like, did he have some, it looked like he tapped the wall a little bit coming out of the turn, gets down underneath seams and has to really check up. He had the nose under, but has to check up to avoid hitting him. Seams didn't give him an inch, and yeah, they go around. So he does manage to stay on the lead lap, but he's got a long way to go now from 26. But he's got Matika and the kids cheering him on.
Yep, luckily Edmund does get the car back going. A solo car instant was able to keep it straight, so no caution. We keep it under the green flag at the moment. But not the start for Edmund Jones here, Robert. He started in around the 12th position or so, been hanging his way inside the top 15, top 10, and now with a lot of work to make up.
Yeah, I mean, he burnt them tires up a little bit, and he's creeping back closer to them leaders to go lap down here early. I think the guy that probably got the worst end of that was probably Jeremy Gilliatt. Looked like he got a little bit of nose damage, and I have to see how that works out, if he's going to have any overheating issues later tonight or what.
The front of the 27 looks okay at the moment. You do see a paint scuff on the left side of the 27. Keep in mind, this is the new damage model with the street stocks on iRacing. So currently in 9th spot, not a bad start for the 27 at the moment. Probably did get some 4X there in that situation, which will be a decrease in his payout. Again, if he can stay inside the top 20 in the race, but like I said, we will see what goes down. Best race on track here. Oh man, we got a smorgasbord for 15th on back here, Doug. Joe Campbell and Brett Meckes side by side.
Yeah, and there is a big group right there in some fast cars. Joe Campbell, Jose Godino, Sean Andrews, Albie Hewins, Kyle Bartles, all right in the mix there. Several more cars back behind them. And everybody looking for that opening. So Joe just sends it deep into the turn. Pulls ahead. Great move by Joe Campbell to take 15th here out of turn 4. But man, they're waiting. If somebody opens the door, as we saw with Gerald Poole earlier, you get somebody moved up to the high side, everybody's coming underneath. That is not what you want to have happen here early.
There is one driver that's moved up to the high side. That is Albie Hewins, and it's just not working out for him, currently the 55. Remember, Robert, we talked with him pre-race. He said that this wasn't one of really his favorite tracks. So right now his goal is to just get out of everyone's way pretty much and just keep the car in one piece at the end.
Yeah, collect your points, have a clean race. Don't want to, piss anybody off or anything like that carrying into next week because we're going to 5 flags. It's going to be a little tighter there. Just collect what you can, go home and call it a day, and try to get even like a top 20 finish, get some money to head into next week.
Kyle Bartels, Jose Gaudino, the next pair, side by side for the 18th spot. Bartels with a quiet start at the moment here, Doug. He started from 27th position. He's made his way up 9 positions into the 18th spot. Not bad for him at the moment.
No, it's really not, but he's got Sean Andrews directly ahead, who's already up 5 spots himself. Those two may be able to just follow the leader through this field if they're wise. They've obviously both got a ton of speed here tonight. They've just got to keep it clean and consistent. These guys coming from the back tonight, it's not exactly the most dangerous track, but it can get a bit exciting out there if you're trying to move your way through the field. As we saw, Edmund had a ton of speed. He was making his way forward, but just got into a little bit of a bind, and then you get a little turned around there. So hopefully these guys will keep moving forward.
Bartels, again, your season opening winner at Charlotte to kick off the season. Finished 4th spot last week, and yeah, I think Colgan was just about to refer as Sean Andrews just pinched the wall.
Yeah, he just pinched the wall, and I was just going to say, Bartels actually has had no practice really in this car. He was on a trip to Vegas over the weekend, didn't get a lot of practice. I don't think he got any practice in, went to race a heat race last night, and there was a little oops with registration, so he's running a setup with literally like no practice, so I think he's just getting used to it. I'd expect to see him up around probably top 10, top 15 by the end of the night.
I have to ask, he spent the weekend in Vegas. Did whatever happened there stay there?
I think so. You never know with Kyle. He's either really calm or he can be quite wild. It's just, you never know what you're going to get.
Kyle's like a box of chocolates.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Anyway, Luke Turpin, by the way, has reconnected. He is back in. We just had a change for position near the front of the field. Zach Edwards up 3 spots, just past Adam Gilliatt for the 5th spot on the racetrack. So we're going to see some drivers make some moves up to the field here, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's, man, I thought maybe we'd have a caution here by now. Thought maybe we would there with Edmund spinning. It's going to be a little interesting seeing with strategy. I think maybe if you're back here in even this top 15 in this 15 on back group, maybe taking 2 tires and some fuel to get away from some guys early, break it up maybe. But I don't know really fuel strategy or anything for here this weekend.
Could possibly be a factor as well. Fuel limit is at 30% for drivers here, but tires not a factor in that role though. Unlimited tire sets for the drivers here in this race. Austin Edwards, this kind of looks like here, Doug, from our perspective as you look at the front of the field, has kind of held the drivers back just a little bit. He had about a couple of tenths in front of Alex Krapser. Now that's dropped down to a car length and maybe a half as well, as it's a quarter of a second between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, I think you heard Austin in pre-race say, hey, this the setup, he's struggling with it here. He struggles at Southern National. It's one of the few tracks that we've not seen him just go out and dominate at. We are seeing Parker, though, pull away from the field here pretty early on. Hopefully, as they go through the race, Austin can make some adjustments to that car and pick up some speed. It's not a surprise to see him in the top 5, but you got to wonder, does Krapser, Carpenter, or Zach Edwards have a bit more speed just waiting for an opportunity to get by him?
You could definitely see what happens there. Retzlaff with the biggest lead of the evening so far at 2 seconds. That is the 4th biggest gap to a car that is behind them at the moment. So we will step aside, take our first break of the evening. Parker Retzlaff, Austin Edwards, Alex Krapser, Noah Carpenter, Zach Edwards, your top 5. But you're not going to miss a thing as we go side by side. Well, we are working lap number 50 here of the XCAL Racing Web Shop 275 at USA International Speedway. Marty Scala, Robert Colgan, Doug Burns with you. No change amongst the top 5 while we were under break. But Doug, we did have another incident with Edmund Jones. His night so far has gone from bad to worse.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the replay and see what happened here. There you see him in the green car, down into the turn. A bit of a checkup in front of him. He tries to stay out of the 5, and the 84 just gives him a push, turns him around a little bit. Edmund going to end up losing a lap here. Not the way he wanted this to go. He had actually fought his way back up almost to 20th. After that initial spin, he's obviously got a fast race car here tonight, just needs a bit of luck.
Absolutely here at the moment. As Doug, we should mention this too. I'm sorry, Doug and Robert. Robert, I'll let you take this in the follow-up. But we are a couple of laps away from reaching our pit window, which was 58 to 65 laps. We've already seen one driver make the left-hand turn down into pit road. That is Gerald Poole. What do you expect on pit strategy?
Yeah, I just seen, I was going to say Gerald Poole was coming down pit road. I don't know. I mean, it's one of them things. I don't know how the track is. It looks like it's a little loose for some guys. So I don't know if they want to put 2 tires on and make a quick stop. It's been so clean, too. Might just be the route to get 4 tires, full tank of fuel, and head back out. But the big thing is going to be getting on and off pit road. And who messes up on Welpede, as I just see Smallwood popped up. So who doesn't have their Welpede on?
Retzlaff gives up the lead to come to pit road now. Interesting to see him be one of the first cars with that big lead to come down pit road.
Absolutely here. And so we watched Parker Retzlaff stop. Nobody else comes with them in that situation. And so we watched the driver of the 00.
Yeah, I mean, does he maybe put the fresh tires on? And 'cause it looks like he's taken 4. Does he just put the fresh tires on and come out blazing early and picking up time, or what?
Be interesting to see here as well if anyone takes the risk to take 2, because of the situation that if you take 2, you'll get your fuel filled up quicker, Doug.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy calls, and we've seen at tracks like this in Southern National, we've seen the races won and lost on pit road more than once. It may come down to a last lap battle, but who's in that last lap battle may depend on pit strategy. You know, some of these teams have tested multiple strategies here this week, but your plan only holds up until the time you're actually out there on track mid-race, adjusting to whatever's happening on track. And it looks like Austin Edwards may be giving up the lead here in a moment to come to pit road as well.
He will. So something. Oh, hang on, Edwards in the attenuator. Oh no! He came in way too hot. Keep in mind that pit entrance is very slippery with the way this log run has been. This is not good for Austin here, Robert. And you can see there is some front end damage to the number 18 JR Button Box machine.
Yeah, he got that wall pretty good. This is going to set him back. I mean, was he maybe trying to make up some ground while Parker was in the pits and thought maybe that's where he's going to make it? Or was he feeling pressure from Craps? Or I see him in the cockpit. He's moving that wheel back and forth to make sure his tires or you know, his front end's still aligned there. But, yeah, this is going to set him back a little bit.
Crapsers in the pits. Now, Doug, something I'm looking forward to here when it comes to pit stops is we know that Alex Crafter is going to have fresher tires by 6 laps on Parker Retzlaff. Could that help out the 29?
A little bit towards the end of the long run. I don't think you'll see a big difference here early. It's taken quite a bit of time for the tires to fall off here tonight. So these guys, 50 laps, they're only losing about 6-7 tenths of a second. It's going to be later in the run, but I do think it'll make a big difference. And if Alex gets a quick pit stop, who knows what could happen here tonight?
Yeah, not really a lot of tire fall off. Actually, go back and do another perspective. Yeah, not a lot of tire fall off from my perspective. Just about really a half second at the moment, Colgan.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm looking. Edwards is still sitting in the pits. I think Crapster's going to end up getting out of the pits. Yep, Crapster's leaving, and Edwards is still in the pits now. This is going to set him way back.
Austin Edwards' night may have just ended there with that situation, so we will have to wait 0 for 3 to start off the season.
Kind of a surprise to see 3 races without Austin winning. When you consider the last 2 seasons, he's won roughly a third of the races both seasons. So, a big shocker. Obviously not in the race last week, but not winning it. He kind of knew he wasn't going to win at Charlotte. He wasn't feeling confident about the setup tonight. But, you know, he's not been confident before and still managed to fight back. So, who knows? It's definitely going to hurt him tonight, and I think he's out of contention for it, but he's still in the points fight.
Yeah, a couple of drivers are stuck in the pits, and Robert, I was actually just about to go here. Zach Edwards actually hit the pit road entry as well.
And the Edwards boys have had such a rough start to the season this year. It's kind of odd. Both of them have struggled here at the beginning.
Especially when you consider last season. I mean, between the 2 of them, half the wins, and Zach getting how many consecutive? 4 consecutive wins last season. Not to have a win yet this season. Yeah, that's it. It definitely is a huge change if your last name is Edwards, and they're not even related. So I mean,
yeah. No, and this is right here with Albie Hewins. This is what he meant. You know, just come in. You know. Capitalize off of those mistakes. Those are 2 guys that we know they're going to be hot later in the season. Get a jump on them. Albie's running 19th. He's 1 lap down. He's just doing his thing. Wait for more mistakes. I mean, Edmund Jones, you've seen him struggle. Both the Edwards boys. So anything can happen. I mean, Parker with the lead he has, he could screw up.
Yeah, so Austin, Zach, and Derek Colson, the 3 drivers that are still in the pits, all hit the pit road attenuator, which gave them a whole lot of damage. Their nights are pretty much, they may not be over. They can try and get it back on track, see if they can assume some track position, but their chances of winning, Doug, guaranteed toast.
Yeah, I don't think it would take a miracle at this point for any of those drivers to come back from this. However, stranger things have happened, but with this race going 67 laps so far green, they're just going to continue to lose more laps. The field is starting to spread out. I mean, there's a big gap between first and second. Second and third are a second apart. Then there's another big gap back to fourth. Positions really starting to spread out here. I don't think there's any coming back, and I think there's a lot of fighting through the field to get.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. Glad you could join us on the family of How to Suck at iRacing Networks. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Hello to Terry, rooting for Campbell and JNS, says it's their night. PDJ Zeller, rooting for Smallwood and Cryer on the move. And he's actually broadcasting a girls' basketball game. Once it's done, he's hoping he can watch the last 50 laps. At the half, it was 25-25, so fingers crossed for no OT. Who knows what's going to happen. And Jim Johnson actually came in the chat and put out pitting. Jim, no texting while driving, sir.
Austin Edwards has left the building.
Wow, you're right. Austin Edwards has disconnected, so that is confirmed as well. I'm going to see here if...
Turpin will not finish last.
Absolutely. So Austin Edwards, a very rare last place finish for him. A tough break for him, that is for sure. Also, hello to Amanda Douglas, who was rooting for Derek. Unfortunately, Derek is one that is also in pit road. We're going to see here if we can get a word here with Zach Edwards while we're under this long green flag run. Zach, it's Marty and the rest of the booth boys here. What happened coming into pit road?
I just overcooked it, trying to be too greedy. You know, I knew I needed everything I could to try and keep up with Parker, but I don't know. Hopefully, the rest of the JNS Racing Aces can pull it out for us.
How long do you have left on the required/optional? And you're going to go back out there for track position?
2 minutes 18 of required, 3.5 of optional. Yeah, I'm going to run the whole thing. You know, man, we're points racing, so every position matters.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate the time. Good luck.
Thank you, Marty.
That is Zach Edwards, just a brief update on him. So Parker Retzlaff with a 6.8 second lead on Alex Krapser. Doug, let's go to the best battle on the racetrack. I would say right now it is for 12th. Jose Gaudino against Daniel Smallwood, against Kyle Bartle. So it's the race for 11th, 94 up 16 spots from the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, but Smallwood's going to be in this fight here in a second. And he's up 15 spots already as well. Jose Gaudino up 4 spots. These three guys are making their way forward pretty quickly in this race. Mason Foster also up in 9th, a little bit ahead of him, up 16 spots. There's some big movers out there here early tonight. Kyle Bartles being one of the biggest right now, though. Kendrick Cryer, who started in 24th, up 18 spots into 6th. Cryer is charging forward. He didn't do anything special on pit road. 4 tires and fuel, he came back out.
It hit the wall.
Yep, absolutely. Quickest lap of this race is a 22:51 by Zach Edwards. Of the drivers that are on the lead lap and on the track currently, we have set for you a 22:53 by the third place driver in Jonathan Bronson. We haven't talked about Floppa yet in this race here, Robert. Good run for him, up 4 spots, currently in 3rd. You know, whenever he's in an XCAL race, he is always a threat to win one of these things. And then Floppa does Floppa.
Yeah, he's actually a teammate of mine now this year. I like Bronson. I think he's got I think he's one of the most talented drivers in XCAL, to be honest with you. He just needs, standing down a little bit. I like to think of him as Mr. Misunderstood because he goes in and runs his mouth all the time about stuff, and you think this kid's an idiot. But when he goes out on the track, he's actually one of the cleanest drivers out there. And to hear him talk about setups and stuff, he ain't no dummy. I mean, he knows what he's talking about, and we just need to get him to shut his mouth a little bit.
So you're pretty much saying he needs to focus a lot more on the race.
Man, if he put more focus into his racing than his chit-chatting, no one would touch him. He just, I like him. He's a good kid. He's just, like I said, he's just Mr. Misunderstood. And I think he'll do some real good here with Fastlane this year. Jeff cracks a whip, and I'm in there, backing Jeff up. I think we'll get him figured out this year.
It is interesting. You mentioned he is just a kid. I know last year we talked about the average age of an XCAL driver was like 17 or 18 years old. A lot of these younger kids out here, and you hear a lot of smack talk out of them, but you got to give them credit when they do talk.
Up, trouble. Kendrick Cryer off the track entering turn number 1, and he got the grass. And see what happened here, Doug, as he went off track. I think there was some contact with the lap car.
Oh yeah, look, I believe it's a 21 Scott Gilliott. Just they get together going down the front straightaway, and Kendrick goes around after a hard charge up toward the front. He's still holding on to 10th place at the moment, but yeah, I imagine he's going to be a bit frustrated. Scott Gilliott is new to XCAL racing, and you heard him talk about in his interview last week. He's still got a lot to learn from his boys, with both of his sons in the field. But man, Adam and Jeremy obviously couldn't find 2 better teachers. They're running 5th and 6th right now.
Absolutely. Tough break for Kendrick, was running 6th at the time. Didn't lose too much, and of course, a lot of race left to go here, Colgan. And I think the only damage I see on his end, maybe a flared left front fender of the car, maybe. And I don't know about paint scuffs on the 66 ride. He may have taken some on the rear end of the damage, but other than that, the car looks clean.
Yeah, he hit that inside wall pretty flat there with the rear bumper. He did a hell of a job saving it. So I think he'll be just fine. He can get some damage here. The big thing is you don't want to damage that nose. I mean, you don't want overheating issues because you're on and off the gas here quite a bit. There's not a lot where you can just back off to keep the motor cool. So.
Absolutely. We currently have 12 drivers left on the lead lap. That's just under half of the field at the moment. And Parker Retzlaff putting on a whooping. 6.6 seconds the gap on second place Alex Krapser. He's about to put a lap down on 12th place driver Jose Gaudino, guys.
Yeah, that did not take long under green flag conditions for him to continue. And it would not surprise me in this event to see less than 10 cars on the lead lap, even less than 5 if this thing stayed green all night. Parker is does not have the fastest laps out there, but he is consistently one of the fastest, and he is consistently beating everybody out there. Now at 6.7 seconds is the lead, and just sneaking around here, picking them off one at a time.
Very impressive as well that despite the 6 laps of worn tires compared to Alex Grabs or Robert Retzlaff is still increasing that lead.
Yeah, I don't think the tires really matter a whole lot here, and you know, especially that big of a gap, because Crapster's going to have to put on even harder now to try to catch him. So I think that was a good move by Parker, come in early, get them fresh sheets a little bit early, shoot out, increase your lead, and now chill out and make everybody chase you.
Step aside here once again on how to suck at iRacing as 89 laps go up on the board. Parker Retzlaff, Alex Crapser, Jonathan Bronson, Noah Carpenter, Adam Gilliatt. That's the top 5. Stay with us. We are working on lap number 95 here in the XCAL Racing Web Shop, 275 at USA International Speedway. No change amongst the top 5. Don't forget, we are back with you next week. Next week to 5 Flag Speedway, the XCAL Racing Web Shop, 325. Join us on the call, start time at 7:20 p.m. on the broadcast. With the green flag at 7:30 on the family of How to Suck at iRacing networks. No change amongst the top 5 since we were last with you. The gap, though, has increased for Parker Retzlaff on Alex Crapser. 7 seconds on the driver of the 29. And when you take a look at this right now, at the moment here, Robert, if I'm looking at this correctly, you've got 3 of the JNS Racing Aces drivers in the top 5.
Yeah, they were really good in, I want to say it was Heat 1 yesterday. Parker, Noah, and Zach Edwards, just 1, 2, 3, they ran away from the field. So it does suck to see Zach get tore up. Those boys, they were going to pull away there, I think, tonight.
Now, if 10 drivers on the lead lap, just had a change for 9th in front of the leader as Kendrick Cryer gets past Stephen Rex, looking to rebound after spinning off of the 21. Also a good battle here, Robert, for the 12th position. Jim Johnson and Jose Gaudino. Great race there. I think Gaudino was losing out the spot.
Yeah, Zach's coming underneath him. He's, like he said, he was points racing here tonight, so trying to stay ahead of that 3 car, which is going to be very important, because that car is going to turn up the heat later this year, especially if Bear and Turpin are going to share a seat. That could be a force to be reckoned with, so you got to look at the big picture early.
Robert talked about this under break, and Doug, I want to get your perspective on this. As we get into this long run, which we are just about 100 laps in, we have had, we've been totally green from the start of this one. Marbly, you can see if you look closely on the apron, all the marbles breaking out. You can see some marbles a little bit up top. And when this track gets marbly, it's very, very slippery.
It really is, and we talked about it in pre-race, using a little bit of the apron mid-turn to get some rotation. That can get dicey. Getting up to the outside line where it's starting to get some marbles, that could get dicey. And but the big one, we've already seen issues on pit road. This could get really, really exciting the next round of pit stops, and as the night goes on, that's going to get it's going to get a bit worse. It'll get more slick near the pit road entry. Something else I just noticed is Parker Retzlaff is about to catch 9th place Kendrick Cryer. This may be the hardest pass of the night that Retzlaff has, because you know Cryer is not happy about getting turned. He's fighting to stay on that lead lap. He's fought his way up 15 spots. He does not want to go a lap down here.
And we know the lap down rules in XCAL Racing. You can fight to stay on the lead lap, but you cannot fight to stay a lap down or higher. Completely different than it is in NASCAR racing here, Colgan.
Yeah, I think it's a decent rule. I think Aaron's a little relaxed on it, as long as you don't drive like an idiot. And I like it because it does restrict the guys from being stupid. You could have a guy 5 laps down, and he's just giving the leader a hard time. There's no need for it. You're not going anywhere. So I kind of like the rule. One thing I do like is when we come to pit stops, and I watch it during the race too, is the amount of people that forget to turn their well PD on. There's always at least 2 or 3 on the first round of pit stops, and it's like the same name. You think they learn, and Chad gets disabled, and it always gives me a little chuckle. So because I never talk really, so I have no worries.
Daniel Smallwood has had his check disabled, and 2 of the Chiliads, Jeremy and Scott, have had their check disabled because Aaron Hillenbush is sick of hearing anyone during the races. He is extremely focused up in that race control tower.
Here comes Parker. He's there now. What's Cryer gonna do?
Cryer's going to drive the wheels off that car and try and keep Retzlaff behind him. Retzlaff, as we saw last week, not real fond of using the bumper. He's very, very patient out there, but looks like he's got a run already down into the turn. And it looks like he is going to put Cryer a lap down. You know Cryer's got to be fuming right now.
And you know he won't give up either here, guys. With the way the track has gone into tonight, you can look closely. That second groove starting to get set up here at USA. However, though, Retzlaff makes the clear here, Colgan. Mind, first 3 drivers a lap down will get a wave.
Yeah, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. He's closing in on Mason. I think Cryer will still, it'll end up coming back to him as long as he keeps it clean. Anything can happen. Last week, I don't know how Kyle Martin won the race. I was telling Doug before the race. I passed him, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. He was going slow. I figured he had no fight in the race, and then I find out after we cross the line, Kyle Martin wins the race. So anything can happen in these races.
Second round,
Parker and Mason's pitting.
Away. Yep. They both pit together, and they nearly got together entering their dog. I think that was what the O was from.
Yeah. Wow, that was a dicey move. Crabs are back to the lead. Wow, that was a gutsy move. Both of them hitting pit road. Jonathan Bronson also on pit road. This is definitely something Kendrick Cryer wanted to see. He's got a few laps here to cross his fingers and hope for a caution to come out. But man, that was one of the sketchiest pit road entries I've ever seen.
Yeah, nearly turned them around. Joe Campbell probably would have been disgusted at that situation. And probably same goes for Danny too. We're watching the 0-0 stop here for him to make his exit, filling up the tank with fuel. Now at this point, guaranteed 4 tires. No risk for 2. You have to take 4. But I mean, Could we see any of the drivers that are a lap down take the risk and try and stay on the lead, get back on the lead lap? I think we could see it, Robert, but it's probably the safe decision.
I see Cryer trying to do it because he's shown he's got speed. He doesn't belong where he's at. But like Bronson, there's no need for Parker to do it. There's really no need for those guys that's already up towards the front. You might just be screwing yourself. But in a position like Cryer where you need to make up that lost time, I wouldn't blame him.
Absolutely.
You know, one driver that's been coming through the field started up in second or in fourth place. Noah Carpenter has been hanging out in the top 10 most of the night. Obviously, under the cycle of stops, he moves up into second place. He's another one to watch and keep a close eye on because he could definitely be a contender before the night is out. I've been watching his lap times. He's on pace with the leader, so I think he's got a fast enough car to get out here and do something with it, but he's got to be careful about it. And remember, if he doesn't, he may have to do the dishes.
Absolutely believe Alex Crafter will stay out. Adam, Jeremy, Juliet finishing up their pit stops. No issues right now for drivers in this stint, despite the Marblier the slip. Trying to think what the word is. The slicker track, the slicker asphalt. No one has hit the attenuator on the second stint of stops.
You had to say something, didn't you? Didn't you, Marty? Because somebody, the next pit stop we see, they're probably going to hit the attenuator now.
Crafter and Carpenter haven't pit yet, and I don't think Johnson should. There's still a chance.
Top 4 have yet to pit of the field overall, making the top 5 of the lead lap cars, though. It's the top
Johnson.
3. But yep, Johnson is pitting. So he goes a lap down to Crafter. We'll watch the 39 stop.
He's been pretty impressive this year. He's had some good runs. Noah Carpenter's had a pretty rough start at the beginning of the season, getting wrecked in the first race. And then the second race, I think he had an alright finish. He had a little bit of a rough time. It's nice to see him running well tonight.
Definitely, that's for sure. 55 pitting, that's Albie Hewins. Wouldn't be surprised if we hear that from the 29 as well right now.
Crafter's still out there running.
And Crafter says he's coming in an impressive 60-lap stint for the driver of the 29.
That couple of extra laps could make a huge, huge difference. He did 60 on the first stint, does 60 again here. That 1 or 2 laps doesn't make a huge difference early on in the race, but later on in the race when everybody's getting down, and we've seen races in the past come down to one driver out front by a lot needing a splash of gas versus the guy in second not needing much gas or not needing to stop at all. Could come down to something like that. Looks like Noah Carpenter is ducking down. No, I'm sorry, that is not Noah. Now Noah comes in. Holy cow, another close call on the pit road.
Absolutely, he makes it in just in time, 35 miles an hour the speed.
You know what's rough too is right now the competition is teammates. So how much, I know teammates benefit. I don't like having a lot of teammates, mostly because I don't like having to be nice to people around me. How much information is shared? Will it pay off? Like, can you close in that gap now? Because it's your teammate. He knows what you got.
Definitely, that's for sure.
Hey.
Let's take a look from our How to Suck at iRacing aerial shot as Parker Retzlaff is just past Alex Crafter for the eventual lead. 10 seconds. We got one sideways, I believe, at 3 and 4. That's Scott Gilliatt. See it, the caution flag is out and Seams is in it. What does this do for Noah Carpenter? I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
Well, the dishes are already done, man, so Noah doesn't have to worry about that. Let's take a look at what happened. Scott Gilliatt coming off of turn 2, right behind the leader, just gotten another, and just breaks loose in the middle of 3 and 4, comes around. Edmund Jones barely missing that. Kendrick Cryer goes up the track. Several drivers, including flying Ryan Seams.
And Andrew's got a little bit of it. It sucks for Ryan Seams. He got a little bit of front end damage there.
Kendrick, I guarantee you, is not happy with Scott right now. Remember, those two got together earlier, and you saw Kendrick trying to avoid it. He gets into Seams, really nowhere to go, and man, that's unfortunate for several drivers who really were trying to make up some ground here tonight.
Retzlaff pits.
See, Seams right now is 1 lap down. Do you pit?
I like this call from Parker Retzlaff to take fuel only here in this situation, but of course the risk he takes is, and I think Ryan Seams and Mason Foster also pit as well to take fuel only. And the same goes for Noah Carpenter, so it will be very interesting strategy-wise in what happens, gents.
I mean, right now, Seams, it's a difficult position, Seams and Foster, because they were the guys that were going to get a wave around. I understand Seams, he's in a hard spot. He fix your damage or take a wave around. But Cryer, actually, I can't say Cryer should be too mad. He's on the lead lap running 5th place. I mean, oh, it's a bittersweet moment, I guess.
So I think now Alex Krapser takes the risk to stay out and assumes the lead on Parker Retzlaff. And I like this decision here, Doug, for Alex to stay out because he knows he's got a couple laps of fresher tires than Parker. Could be the chance to use it to his advantage.
It could be an advantage, plus he's got several cars between him and Retzlaff once the green flag drops. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3 cars between them. Retzlaff will probably take a few of these pretty quickly, but Krapser has an advantage here, and he lost, Retzlaff lost that, 7-second, that 7-second lead he had there. So this gives everybody another chance, everybody on the lead lap, another shot at it. We'll see how that plays out.
So while we're at it, under the caution flag gives us an opportunity to take a look at our first full field rundown of the evening. This full field rundown is brought to you by How to Suck at iRacing. Alex Krapser will restart as the leader. He is yet to lead in this race under green flag conditions. Could have a chance to do it here under, excuse me, I should say under non-pit stop conditions. Parker Retzlaff has led the most laps in the 2nd position. Noah Carpenter up a spot in the 42. He is in 3rd. Jonathan Bronson having a good race as well, up 3 in the 69 and 4th. And Jim Johnson rounds out the top 5 in 5th. A great run for the 39, maybe one of his best runs we've seen in XCAL Racing competition. Stephen Wetton up 15 spots into 6th. Good run for him as well tonight. Brett Meck is up 6 in the 44. He is in 7th. 8th belongs to Kendrick Cryer, up 16. I believe as well he is back on the lead lap after that situation. And then Jeremy Gilliatt runs in the 9th position in the 27. Stephen Rex rounds out the top 10 in 10th. Kyle Bartles up 16 into 11th. Also a bunch of the biggest movers in the race. Adam Gilliatt is in 12th position, down 7 from the evening. Daniel Smallwood in his first start since 2014 in 13th. Jose Gaudino, the tail end of the lead lap, in the 14th position. And first one a lap down is Mason Foster in 15th. Doug?
Jeff Edgar currently running in 16th, up 10 spots, having a good run. Joe Campbell now up into 17th. He had drifted back earlier. Edmund Jones, Matika and the kids cheered him on. Has helped. He's back up to 18th and still working his way forward. Albie Hewins, who had a tough start to this one, currently runs in 19th, trying to make his way up. A guy we haven't talked about all night, still hanging out in the top 20, John Friley sits in 20th. Sean Andrews, currently running in 21st, has had a couple of issues still in the fight. Gerald Thanos Poole, currently running in 22nd place, was up front, had a really great starting position, but the race has not gone his way. Ryan Seams currently runs in 23rd after that incident. Got a lot of ground to make up, but Flying Ryan does have his big cheering section. Scott Gilliatt has had a really rough night, currently sitting in 24th, may be getting waved around the pace car in a moment. Derek Colson sits back in 25th at the moment. Zach Edwards in 26th. Luke Turpin has picked up 1 position so far after connection difficulties didn't allow him to make the start of this one. He is in 27th. Austin Edwards, big incident early on in the race, loses a lot of ground and retires from it. He is in 28th and will finish last tonight.
Back to green flag. There were a couple of drivers, I believe 7 or 8 drivers that restarted in front of the leader that are on the lead lap. We've got one sideways. Believe as well that is Bronson in the 69, and he is. No caution. We stay under the green flag. Not the restart he wanted, but now for the leaders, a tough time for him as they have to gaggle their way through the field. Look out, hang on, the 25 is sideways, and Adam Gilliatt just next to the 00.
That was close. A lot of close incidents. Let's see if we can see what the heck happened to Bronson here. On this start, he's coming down the front straightaway.
Yeah, it looked like he just got checked up. Carpenter checked up, and
yeah, it looks like a whole lot of checking up. They were really getting...
trouble. Derek Colson is off the track, and Brett Meckes has crashed it. We'll see if we get a caution flag here. Meckes was on the lead lap at the time, and unfortunate break is him and the 5 collide in the back of the field.
Oh, it looks like the 5 man just snapped loose coming out of turn 4 and collects Brett Meckes along the way. A hard break for both drivers.
Very hard hit for the 5. And that is both of them very hard hits, especially for Colson. But the part that we did not mention in that restart, Retzlaff has taken the lead back on Alex Krapser. Unfortunately, the strategy does not work for the 29. Krapser is back in P2, just a half second in front of Noah Carpenter, Robert.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say here now. I mean, that caution really mixed up things. I mean, I'm pretty impressed right now with 4th and 5th. Stephen Wetton was struggling yesterday in the heat races, and he's in 5th right now. James Johnson running 4th. He's having a hell of a run right now, too. The tables just... I don't know what to say, man. That was pretty wild. I mean, having the lap cars all start in front of the leaders, and then the action we had, a little crazy.
Absolutely, that's for sure. And Doug, for the drivers that are in front of the double zero, they would love for a caution flag to fly, because if a caution does, so say like you're maybe a Stephen Rex, Jeremy Gilliatt, Kendrick Cryer at the moment, you get to restart with the leaders right behind them.
Yeah, you get back to that lead. You get one of your laps back, and several of these drivers could really use it right now, and they're gonna just praying for a caution here to get an opportunity to get back on the lead lap or get a lap back, maybe pick up some positions here. A lot could go on here any second, and as we saw the restart being extremely aggressive, anything could happen.
Gonna step aside here and take a break here. So the new top 5, Parker Retzlaff, Alex Krapser, Noah Carpenter, Jimmy Johnson, and Stephen Wetton, as we're past the halfway mark here at USA. We are back here past the halfway mark here at USA with 141 laps complete. The XCAL Racing Web Shop Series on the family of Panasonicon iRacing is brought to you by the XCAL Web Shop. Make sure you check out xcalracing.com/shop for all your favorite things XCAL Racing. by Sim Racer Hub, the official statistician provider of XCAL Racing, and by the XCAL Patreon. If you want to be a super fan, make sure you head to patreon.com/XCAL Racing. 18 or older to join. 143 laps down, Parker Retzlaff with the lead. Best race is on for B2 here, Robert. Alex Krapser and Noah Carpenter, the teammates, go at it. I don't think they're going to be passing each other here anytime soon.
Yeah, and they got some lap cars in front of them, and those guys are fast. I mean, Bartles, Juliet was fast in his heat race. Very impressive. I think his tires just wouldn't hold on for the long run. Krasper, he was kind of looking there for Juliet. Just going to try to pace his way through, but they do have a teammate up there right in front of Bartles. I think once they get around these two, should be easy sailing.
6 drivers currently on the lead lap, and after that wild restart, Retzlaff had some breathing room at the moment after he's put the drivers in front of him a lap down once again, just past Kendrick Pryor a couple laps ago. Next guy he's going to catch here is Jonathan Bronson, who is just over half a lap behind.
Yeah, I think he's...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think he's taking it easy. He doesn't want to blow that car up because, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, just baby it on through, still running in 6th place.
Yeah, he really has no reason to push that car right now. He's got plenty of time before Parker gets to him. He's got a little bit of breathing room, and next round of pit stops won't be that far ahead. While he's getting tires and fuel, he can get some repairs done. Maybe get that car dialed back into where he needs it to be, and hopefully continue to fight his way into the top 5.
Hello to Lyle and Richie watching on Facebook, and also a hello to Mark, who says the dishes are already done. And hello to Steve Seams watching and Jason Seams. They're both, I'm sure, bummed after what happened to Ryan in the process there. Best battle on the racetrack is for the final spot in the top 10. Adam Gilliat and Kyle Bartles go at it into turn 1. Colgan 25, which position I think he's got it there. This is also, we get up to the 10 of Steven Rex, could be for a free pass spot later.
Yeah, I mean, this is from, 10th to, 13th there. Yeah, this is 10th through 13th battling right now, so it's one of them things you don't want to push too hard.
Whoa!
Foster not giving much room.
That was close.
Kyle ain't going to be too happy about that.
Drain some paint down the
Scott
front.
Gilliatt's way off the pace here. They're catching him down the backstretch.
Could get interesting once again as they close in on the 21. He up on the marbles, lets everyone go past.
I don't like
the wall. Yeah, man, look who had a huge burst of steam there. Zach Edwards.
Yeah, I get nervous when I see somebody way up in the marbles and coming off the corner. You don't know if they're going to keep it straight or take a nice little left.
Absolutely. Got some other races here on your screen. Noah Carpenter, we talked about already Noah Carpenter behind Alex Krapser. Don't expect some passing for a big portion of it. We also have Kendrick Pryor and Jeremy Gilliat in a small race for 7th. We've got Steven Rex trying to be a part of this as well. This is inside the top 10, Doug.
Yeah, Rex continues to close his way up on this fight. I think he's still in it. Probably has a little bit more speed than one or both of the guys in front of him. We saw Kendrick really pushing it, trying to stay on the lead lap when Parker got to him, but just couldn't hold it. He was sliding the car around, and I think might have ate a little bit of his tires up. So he's going to have to be careful with the long run here tonight. And this track really is, this race really is going to be about long run speed. It has been so far tonight. The guy with the fastest long run speed continues to lead this one. Another driver starting to make his way forward, Edmund Jones, in the mix with these lead line cars. Currently in 17th place. He had some trouble early on, went all the way to the tail end of the field, has fought his way back up through.
Absolutely great run for the 51 indeed. Next opponent is Jose Godino in 16th, 15 seconds ahead of him. I want to focus back on Mason Foster. He nearly got past Adam Gilliat to break back into the top 10. Hogan could be a tough mission to get past the Gilliat owned number 25.
Yeah, he's been fast this week, so he's got some speed, but he ain't going to let him just go. now. Mason's got a teammate right there in front of Joliet, so, well, I guess whatchamacallit, so there's an alliance there, I should say. Oh, well, Foster's going to look to the bottom here. Does Joliet just maybe let him go?
Probably will, as they are side by side at the line, way too close to call. Scoring on our end, says Mason Foster. He cleared the 25 off the corner. The answer is yes, he does. Now Joliet deals with the return of Daniel Smallwood for 11, Doug, but Joliet shuts the door.
Yeah, Smallwood really, for not having raced in XCAL for what, 8-9 years now, coming back, having a great run. Started dead last, up 16 spots. He's kept the car out of trouble, kept it pretty clean, and making his way up into 12th, up 16 spots. That is a great comeback run.
Heck, even he knew how to get back. Hey, last time he wasn't in iRacing or raced with us, the user interface wasn't a thing. Even he knew how to get on the session with the user interface, and Tyler McRae couldn't.
Ooh, burn.
Yes. Had to go there. Sorry there, T. Gray, if you hear it.
Yeah, to get in here, y'all got to get into league sessions and, request to be, into the league, or send a request or join or whatever. Don't forget it.
Yeah, you can never forget, that's for sure. Unless you're broadcasters like us, you don't have to join. You can just hit the watch button. Let's go back to Foster and Joliet as Joliet challenges once again and tied for 10.
He's got a little bit of right front damage there too. I wonder if that's affecting him, because I've been watching his car's getting a little push up off the corner, getting a little tight.
Look at this, Smallwood tries to go the longer way around the racetrack. Now he gets the pull off the 96. That could help him just a tweed bit entering turn 3 there, Colgan.
Yeah, it's they're. I don't know how much of this battling I like though, because others are pulling away. I mean, don't want to battle too much, because next thing you know, you could be another lap down. But right now, as it sits, I mean, 9th place is that last wave around spot, so maybe battle a little hard, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. And Daniel Smallwood, in that 12th position, gets challenged by Bartles, Doug, here. Bartles wants to get back to Mason Foster after they touched just about 10 laps ago.
Yeah, I don't know how clean, if these two get together, how things are going to go. Obviously, neither driver massively impacted, but a lot of these guys just don't forget if they get touched, tapped, whatever. So could be a little interesting if Bartles can get back to him, but he's got a couple of fast drivers to get past, and obviously Joliet has been tough to pass all night.
Race car drivers always have a longer memory than elephants do. Let's go to...
he's only 2 seconds behind 5th now, so he's, with that damage, he's closing back in.
Absolutely. Your free pass drivers currently, Kendrick Pryor, Jeremy Joliet, and Stephen Rex, all a lap down at the moment. I want to focus on Cryer and Jeremy. That's the race for 7th. Jeremy, Doug, not giving up on that 66, wanting that 7th spot.
No, he's just, I don't think he's giving up. He's just waiting for Cryer to make a mistake. He was behind Cryer when Cryer had some issues earlier trying to fight the leader off, and probably knows those tires are getting pretty worn out. So he's just waiting for the opportunity to pounce. Really, Jeremy is just a very clean but strategic driver from what we've seen. He just plans it out and puts himself in the right place at the right time, and it seems to work out.
Just had a close call about a lap ago in turn number 3. Jose Gaudino sideways in 3 and 4. Doug, you're going to want to take a look at this one on the replay.
Down the back straightaway, Gaudino at the back of the pack. Coming in and just a little too much send. He goes around. Wow, that got really close for a few drivers.
Jeff Edgar with a Code Brown moment in the race car there, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Tell you what, too, if you never want to give up, Luke Turpin, he's up to 25th place now after coming out, and I think he came out 37 laps down in 28th to begin this race. He's 35 laps down in 25th right now, and only 6 laps behind Zach Edwards, so there's a lot of racing left that could pay off for later on this season.
Good race happening at the moment, but I do want to talk about pit stops here as the window's about to open in just about 10 laps. We could see right now, per our calculations, the final stop being around lap 240 with 11 laps to go. But Robert, I am seeing some drivers already making a pit stop. I just saw Godino make a stop a couple moments ago. Same with Kyle Bartels and Daniel Smallwood. Are they doing that just about maybe 10 laps early so they can pit beforehand?
Yeah, and I think, you know, seeing the outcome, like how this race has been going, it's been pretty clean. Get your fuel and tires now. We seen Parker whenever he pit before Crafter, he opened up a gap, so maybe they seen something there, and now they want to get some tires a little early too.
Let's go back to Joliet and Foster again as they are door to door in turn 3.
Joliet is not giving an inch. Neither is Foster. They are both fighting for that position. It's crazy to see him. As Foster looked like he got a little loose coming into turn 1. And it looks like Joliet might have. Joliet gets loose off turn 2. That's these guys are definitely pushing a lot harder than they need to be this late in the run.
Tires definitely starting to come in, that's for sure. And Joliet clears as a lot of drivers are in the pits. Stephen Wetton, Kendrick Cryer, Edmund Jones. Let's watch the 66's stop at the moment. 4 tires and fuel is expected, Robert.
Yeah, and another thing too, another thought that I forgot to bring up is Bartels was right in that pack with Joliet and Foster. Seeing those guys battle like that, slowing you down, and to avoid any chaos, maybe pit now, and you can jump them on around the pit stops, be ahead of them. There's no sense in staying back there, slowing yourself down.
That's for sure. I want to go back to Alex Krebs or Noah Carpenter. Again, we mentioned we should not expect him to pass. But Carpenter has closed the gap just a little bit, 0.2 of a second on Alex Crapser. Doug, could we maybe see Crapser let Carpenter go by to see if he could be maybe the best shot at Parker Red's left, despite them being teammates overall?
He could stay in the draft. It could just be a situation where Noah Carpenter's trying to save a little bit of fuel, but if they're talking, which I'm sure they are, then they know which one of them's faster. This could just be a strategy play. They may be just working their way up toward the leader as best they can right now, but yeah, it does look like Noah has just a little bit more speed here, and you got to wonder if his teammate will let him by, sit back in the draft, and try and close the gap on the leader right now. It's going to be hard though as Parker continues to pull away. Now a 4.4 second lead.
Yeah, great run for him. Continues to keep increasing that lead despite that lone caution of the race, and now we're just wondering when he's going to come in. Probably see about 3 to 5 laps. Let's take a look as well. Remember, How to Suck at iRacing Blimp Shop. Doug, I didn't get a chance to ask you this, but what is coming up on How to Suck at iRacing?
Well, the Nowski Nation series continues tomorrow night, and Sunday morning we've got GT3 racing, BRR on Sunday nights, and a huge shout out to the BRR Cup team. Or the BRR 24 Hours of Daytona team, rather. They completed the 24 hours, a rough race, but in the process raised over $1,000 for the MS Society. So great job by them, as it looks like Stephen Rex has having some problems.
Absolutely. Let's take a look and see what happened to the driver of the number 10. Was running inside the top 10 at one point.
Down off into turn 1, and looks like he's right on the yellow line and gets loose off of 2. Manages to get it woed up, no damage, gets it rolling again, but hey, that's going to hurt.
Robert, I would assume that would be too much gas off of turn 2.
Yeah, it's getting a little loose. The track's getting a little marbly. Getting a little happy with that gas. One thing I want to point out here too is when we're talking about strategy, Bartels was behind Joliet. And now, after they've circled their pit stops, Bartels came out and he was about a half a straightaway ahead of Joliet. So it does pay to come in a little bit early.
Mason Foster has had a problem.
Yep, just about to mention it. Let's see here what happened here, and I think it has something to do with the Edwards' best friend.
Well, he gets down onto he gets down there and just in the marbles down there, ends up on the attenuator and ends up having to tow. He can't even get the car off the attenuator, so he is on pit road. Parker Retzlaff now on pit road for his stop, and Sean Andrews has had a problem.
Slowly, let's see what happened. What happened to Sean Andrews here, Doug?
Going through 1 and 2, so probably not the attenuator this time, but off of 2, loose. Starting to see a lot of loose off of turn 2 here tonight.
Absolutely, that's for sure. So while we're wrapping up pit stops, we'll step aside and go to break. Alex Krebser, Noah Carpenter, Jeff Edgar, Joe Campbell, Parker Retzlaff, your top 5. Step aside here, be back at USA. Big implications break out in this one. Parker Retzlaff gets into Jose Gaudino. The 20 spins. Kendrick Cryer's also involved. Noah Carpenter as well while we were under break. Missed pit road the first time. And then as the caution came out, entered a closed pit road, Doug. Huge developing stories.
Ouch. Parker Retzlaff, I don't think he got a whole bunch of damage out of that, but Gaudino did. It looked like Gaudino may have just pushed up a little bit. Parker nowhere to go.
I think Parker's car is going to be okay, but man, Cryer, he's got the short end of the stick all night.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go.
Here's a huge but though. Aaron Hillebush with a huge decision to make. If this is on Retzlaff, that pretty much ends his race. If it's on Gaudino, Retzlaff is still in this, but with the way pit stops happen, Krebser gets the lead.
Boy, Carpenter, he missed pit road the lap before.
Man, if he had hit that pit stop, it'd have been perfect. And breaking story, Austin Edwards is contemplating retirement.
We get Superman back, and we may be seeing Austin Edwards retiring.
His car owner told him not to quit. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out, but wow, what an eventful night we're having.
Yeah, either that or Petey's just making stuff up because he saw what happened.
Well, there is always that.
Yeah, because, well, we know Petey. So we'll see what happens. Carpenter with the lead, but remember, he's got to go tail because he entered a closed pit road.
Was it closed when he got on pit road is the question, because that was an awfully close moment, and man, you know his heart has to be breaking right now. Had he made that stop when he originally tried to.
Oh, they black flagged Parker Retzlaff. Oh my. Now when the caution flag came out here, Doug, to answer your question here as well, get to Retzlaff in just a moment. Carpenter, when he entered, He entered at the wall, but remember, the yellow cone is pit road entry officially. You look closely at one of the replays, you'll see the caution light came on before he crossed that yellow line.
That's going to be heartbreaking, considering it's just a circumstance of track design that he could not get back out.
Absolutely, and so Parker Retzlaff comes in to serve his penalty now, then wait. So that's a tough break for Parker Retzlaff. He'll come in and hold. And so that will give Alex Krapser the race lead. And look who is going to be in second. He spun out under the last restart. Jonathan Bronson is back in the race.
Who'd have thunk it? I mean, Bronson was making his way up early on, then had issues, now fought his way back up into this. And, man, with... not sure how far back Retzlaff will restart on this one, but with him so far back, Bronson's back in the fight.
My tables have turned.
Yeah.
Look who's running. Look at 6th place right now. Jeff Egger.
Oh, 5th place. Wow. Well done, Jeffrey.
I mean, he don't like them short tracks. He's always saying he's about a tenth or two off guys. You got to give Jeff a shout out there, running top 5 at USA.
Yeah, he's been keeping that car fairly clean. He's had a few close calls out there. But, man, that car is still in good shape. He's still in the fight, and now up here in the top 5. Could it be Jeff Edgar's night?
Hey, and that 7 car right now, keep in mind, that's the points leader coming into tonight. Kyle Bartles won the first race, and then second race he finished, I think it was 4th after penalties were handed out. So right now, that 7 car... I like the picture this year for points. You got Fastlane, you got Moonlight, you got Dropping Bombs, you got some JNS, you got some stout teams with some real good runs this year. It's going to be pretty interesting for points this year.
So, let's set this out here for you as we've got about 80 laps to go here. Alex Krapser will bring us back to green, but cars back in second is Jonathan Bronson, ruled 4.8 seconds. That's just about maybe 10 to 12 cars back. Then you got Jim Johnson's in third, Jeff Egger a couple cars back in fourth, Stephen Wett in fifth, Jeremy Gilliatt sixth, Noah Carpenter in seventh. Those are the only cars on the lead lap. Carpenter's restarting tail for the restart violation. Parker Retzlaff after the black flag. He has served it. He restarts in 12th. A single file restart as we come back to the green flag.
Let's see. Oh!
Oh, look out! Turpin's around the 25 is in the wall, and Adam Gilliatt, he merges. We stay under the green flag, and once again, another restart crash.
And, it looks like Gilliatt had to check up. He tried to move down. Turpin had nowhere to go. Everybody just stacks back up, and both drivers losing a lot of ground. Luke Turpin, obviously, after the connection issues, was trying to fight his way back up, but he's going to lose a lot of ground, and this benefits one guy dramatically. Alex Krapser was able to break away from Bronson, and a lot of the field now much, much further back. Jim Johnson now up in the top 3. And he's got an almost 3-second gap on Jeff Egger, who's made his way into 4th.
Absolutely. Well done from both of those guys. I believe as well for Jim that it would be his best XCAL finish on a short track. I can't tell you if it was on a super speedway or whatnot. I would have to do my extensive research on that. But great races between the 39 and the 7. They're some of their best outings ever. And you talked about Krapser, how he's broken away. A 2.7 second lead, and that last time by was about 0.2 better than Jonathan Bronson, who again is still stuck in dirty air.
Holy crap, Parker Retzlaff is dropping the hammer here. He just set the fastest lap of the race so far as he looks under Jim Johnson. Retzlaff is going to try and unlap himself the old-fashioned way and get back up where he belongs.
Trouble. Mason Foster has... Nope, never mind. That was a blank. I'm sorry. But getting back to your point there, Doug, Parker Retzlaff is driving like a pissed-off teenager at the moment. He's so mad after that penalty. He currently has a wave-around spot eligible for that. But like you mentioned, he wants to unlap himself naturally. He's got the car to do that. Looks past Daniel Smallwood. That's for 8th here, Colgan.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and gets that lap back. And to be honest with you, I mean, he's got a great position because his teammate's the leader. So he maybe just lay back and give it to him if he can get up there. But he's got some traffic to work through here.
It's going to be a hard-fought battle to catch Crapser. He's extending that lead now 2.9 seconds. But Retzlaff just turned again, beat his own fastest lap. I mean, we know this guy is an Xfinity and truck driver in real life, but dang, he comes to XCAL, he puts on a show.
My goodness. Let's check this lap time out the line. Last time by was 2/10 better than the leader. This time by a couple of hundreds off. So, anyway, we have got 75 to go at the line. It's time for our second full field rundown of the evening. Brought to you by How to Suck at iRacing. Doug?
Well, Crapser does have a 3-second lead now out front. He is loving that clean air. Jonathan Brunson, who spun earlier, now up into second place. Jim Johnson, having one of his best runs in XCAL competition, now up in third. Noah Carpenter currently runs in fourth place. Does not have to do the dishes tonight, but still fighting his way forward. Jeremy Gilliott back up in the top 5. Jeff Edgar having one of his best runs. Up in 6th place, Stephen Wetton also sneaking his way into the top 10 in 7th. Parker Retzlaff on the move, currently runs in 8th place. Returning driver Daniel Smallwood now up in the 9th of 19 spots. One of the biggest movers of the night. Kendrick Cryer keeps getting caught up in stuff, keeps fighting his way back, currently running in 10th. Stephen Rex sitting right outside the top 10 in 11th. Kyle Bartles trying to make his way back toward the front in 12th. Joe Campbell now up in 13th. He's having another good run. Look who's in 14th after early issues going to the tail of the field. Edmund Jones now up there. Albie having another great run in 15th.
Awesome
Gerald Poole, who dropped all the way back early on in this race, has fought his way back into 16th. Sean Andrews currently running in 17th. Flying Ryan Seams starting to make a comeback at 18th. Jose Godino sitting in 19th after that spin, and John Friley in 20th.
Mason Foster runs in 21st after, I believe, Spain out earlier tonight. Scott Gilliatt rides in the 22nd position in this one. Adam Gilliatt in 23rd. He is currently stuck on pit road. Zach Edwards running laps down in 24th. Same with Luke Turpin in 25th. Edwards hit the attenuator earlier. Turpin started late due to connection issues. Brent Meckes in the 26th position. 2 drivers currently out of the race at the moment, Derek Polson and Austin Edwards. As we've got 69 laps to go, come to 68 at the line here, Robert.
Yeah, and I'm just watching Parker Retzlaff. He's still the first car a lap down, and that's where he just wants to keep pulling forward because Wetton is only a little over 10 seconds. He's a little over 10 and a half seconds behind Crapser, so there's some buffer there yet. But he definitely doesn't want more cars to go lap down right now.
Best race on track is for 9th, Daniel Smallwood and Kendrick Cryer. Cryer with the preferred line. I think Smallwood lets him go. Yeah, we got to give credit to Daniel Smallwood. A great return in the top 10. I think your Doug in this return, a top 10 would be very successful.
Yeah, that'd be an amazing run given the level of competition out here. And him not having been here in so many years, it's great to see one of the old school drivers back out here doing so well tonight. And given this comeback, you got to wonder how the rest of the season will go for him.
Want to update you on Parker Retzlaff as well after getting that black flag. He is now just a straightaway behind Alex Crapser and is a 1/10 of a second faster than him. It's going to take probably a caution for Retzlaff to get back in this deal. However, though, if he can unlap himself and then get a caution flag, that would be huge. But we got Stephen Rex off track off turn number 4, and that will not be a caution as he is in the infield. See what happened here, Doug, if you can grab it.
Well, down through 3 and 4, he was, looks like he had to get on the brakes to avoid getting into Smallwood and ended up getting loose when he did. Ends up down on the inside wall. He was trying, he was really pinched there. It was some really close racing, but he had to get evasive, and unfortunately, it just sets him back.
tough break for Steven as he is now in the 12th spot. Cryer still trying to pull away from Smallwood in 9th. Let's focus on Noah Carpenter and Jeremy Gilliatt. Or probably Jeremy Gilliatt and Jeff Edgar. That's a race for 5th. So Edgar's lost some time here, Robert, ever since the restart.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, he's just kind of, I think he's going to try to just keep that 6th place. I mean, one more spot, I don't think means a whole lot to him right now. Just take the car home, clean, get your points. Because right now, I think they're sitting in a position, he might keep that points lead after tonight if he can finish well like this. And that'll be huge going into next week. So, points racing, big picture early.
Doug, looking at pit strategy here as we start to wind down into the thick of things. One more stop for the drivers, and that could come probably on around lap 240. So as we get set for the final stops in probably maybe 30 to 40 laps, the window should be open by now for drivers to make their final stop and go scot-free through the finish line. But when you do make that final stop, say you do it on lap number 240, do you go for the 4 tires and fuel, or do you maybe take a risk to get some higher spots?
No, it depends on where you're at on track. A guy like Alex Krapser, he's going to take 4 tires and fuel. Probably all the lead lap cars will. Parker Retzlaff probably will as well. Somebody like Kendrick Cryer could take advantage. Daniel Smallwood might. But if you're further back trying to make your way up, like Joe Campbell or Edmund Jones or Albie Hewins, Gerald Poole, any of those 4 drivers taking 2 tires would be huge. That could put them up into the top 10 before the thing was over, as long as they can make it to the finish.
Absolutely. Here as we work lap 217 of the 275 lap scheduled distance. Kendrick Cryer still tries to hold off Daniel Smallwood for 11th. Looks to be for 9th, but the 11th place driver, Kyle Bartels, looks to find a way to close in, but this is a train here at the moment, Rob, like we start at the start of the race.
Yeah, them trains have been dangerous. I mean, we've seen just on that last restart, they get gobbled up. My thing with pit strategy, it might be worth, if you can do it with 2 tires and just the amount of fuel. Less time spent on pit road might be the best. Right now, Cryer got a little loose, and Smallwood's going to take advantage of it and go down to the inside here.
3 wide, a shallow entry for Smallwood. Very risky move as they came up on the 20-year-old Scott Gilliatt. Can Smallwood still stay on the door of the 66 into 3? The answer is no.
That got dicey. Really, wow. Cryer is still using up that right rear tire as he slides it, coming off 4, and Smallwood manages to take advantage and takes a position.
I think Cryer actually just about scraped the wall exiting the corner, so Smallwood takes advantage of that. Into P9 he goes, and now Cryer and Bartels, that is the battle for what would be a free pass spot at the moment.
Look at that front end of Cryer's car. I mean, it's crooked as can be.
My goodness, yeah, that car is taking some damage tonight.
Yet, like I say, I think spending maybe less time, the less amount of time you can spend on pit road, it might be the best, because we've seen that's when the cautions are coming, is through pit sequence here lately. So I'd be putting that in the back of my mind.
Definitely not bad of an idea to keep that in the back of your mind.
And Retzlaff is not too far behind Krapser. There's nobody between them actually right now. So is Krapser maybe back this up a little bit, try to save a little bit of fuel, and then help Retzlaff get the lap back? Or in my eyes, I'd be doing everything I can to keep him a lap down. I know he's my teammate, but he's been faster than Krapser. I maybe want to keep him a lap down.
Worth noting, Jeff Edgar is the first to make that final stop on lap 224. We'll have to see if this strategy plays out. Edgar's been on the march all night, has been up in the top 5, and hopefully this strategy will be able to keep him there.
Yeah, and Jeff, he's a numbers guy. He's got his numbers crunched, and right now, Cryer and Bartels are battling it out, and it's getting close.
Let's go back to that race. Bartels looks for 9th on Kendrick Cryer. Kendrick's starting to fade here. Run today.
I mean, you can't really fault him completely. Look what he's driving. He's limping that thing. He's getting every little bit out of that car.
Yeah, that's for sure. So So we have 50 laps to go as Alex Krebs leads Jonathan Bronson, Jim Johnson, Noah Carpenter, and Jeremy Gilliatt. When we come back, we're taking you to the finish. Inside the final 50 laps of the XCAL Racing Web Shop 275 at USA, Marty Sakala alongside Doug Burns and Robert Colgan. Again, glad you could join us here at the USA International Speedway. It's round number 3 of the 2022 XCAL Racing Web Shop Series season. Couple moments away from the final pit stops for the leaders here in this one, as we got 5 drivers on the lead lap. Parker Retzlaff, the first car, a lap down, a straightaway behind Alex Krapser. Remember, the big story was Parker Retzlaff dominating this race, leading the most laps, and then he got into Jose Gaudino, turned him around. Aaron Hellebusch called him for the wreck, so he was black flagged for it. He's the first driver a lap down in 6th, looking to pull off the ultimate comeback. That's going to be very tough to do so here, Doug, as we're actually hearing Retzlaff is coming in this time.
Yeah, Retzlaff is going to have to unlap himself and hope for the caution. Once he does, this pit strategy, we talked about it during the break, if he had stayed out longer than Krapser, he'd unlap himself and then hope for a caution. Now it's going to take more of a miracle. Retzlaff's still going to get a top 10 here tonight as long as he keeps doing what he's doing. But if Krapser gives up the lead, he's on pit road. But anything could happen under this cycle of stops, as we've seen all night tonight.
Look who's taking the lead.
Jonathan Bronson. First time today we've seen him out in front. The 1.9 second lead on Noah Carpenter. Now, what is Flopper's strategy here in your opinion, Robert?
I jumped over and talked to him during a break after he got that first bit of damage. I just told him to keep his head on straight. Because, younger guys, they can get a little upset. But he did, on that last restart, he got some more front-end damage. So I think just tough it out. I think he can solidly finish second, if not worse, third. Just do your thing and keep your head low and run out there. It doesn't look like he's pitting anytime soon, so maybe get a caution here and lap most of the field.
He pitted on lap 179, so could probably go about maybe 5 laps. Listening on board, thought for a moment that he was clutching the car, which I would be very... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that might not even just be complete fuel saving. He might be trying to keep that car cool, because he took 2 hard hits to the front end, so he might be trying to keep that car cool too.
Could be, who knows. So Krapser came out just outside the top 5, passes Stephen Rex for the 6th spot right now. Again, no drivers on pit road at the moment. Jeremy Gilliatt just came out a couple moments ago here, Doug. But as of right now, your 3 drivers on the lead lap have yet to pit. Top 5 overall have yet to pit.
What about Jim Johnson? Still hanging on to top 3. He's been in the top 5 for the second half of this race. Holds back up in the top 3. And if he gets a caution here, as Bronson's given up the lead, he's going to come in. Could Jim stay out long enough to maybe even lead some laps, get some bonus points, do a little points racing here? Jim Johnson may still be in the hunt here.
Let's watch Flopper's final stop.
Well, at least he hits his pit stall perfectly, so no problems there. Right sides are up. Noah Carpenter coming out of turn 4 now. And is he going to take... Yes, he does take left side tires. So we are seeing 4 tires and fuel throughout the field. Looking through the field to see if there's anybody trying to pull some crazy strategy here.
Hearing reports that Noah Carpenter is blinking in the 42. Trying to see. Yep, I wouldn't be surprised as well here if we saw. I mean, we've got 35 laps to go at the line here. I wouldn't be surprised here, Rob, if we saw drivers take maybe a half tank of fuel, if not 3/4 of a tank.
Yeah, I mean, the longer you can stay out, the less fuel you really gotta take. You know, I mean, I'm watching Kyle Bartels is up to 3rd. He's the first car lap down. He's closing in on Joe Campbell here. So, I mean, it's a good strategy. I mean, this is where, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, that's where the time's made up. Kyle Bartels is coming in right now, actually. He's going to give up 3rd spot.
Still waiting for Noah Carpenter, who has gone over 60 laps. I believe this is the longest anyone has gone tonight, Doug.
Yeah, this would be 60 laps will be in about 3 more laps. That would be the longest run we've seen. He's the only one to go 60 laps here tonight. We talked about it earlier. If he can stretch it, he's stretching it here right to the end. He'll be able to take less fuel. He'll be able to have a quicker pit stop, and this is definitely going to be right up his alley, exactly what he needed to do here tonight. He's played this strategy perfectly. He's just got to hope he does not blink anymore.
How much time is he losing, though, doing this? That's,
yeah, last time by, he lost about 0.2 of a second to Alex Krapser. We'll check in about half a lap what the times are. Last lap for Carpenter, he timed it at a 22.99. Check Krapser right now.
He's got to hit pit road this time. He messed up almost twice. He messed up the first time, but the second time he almost messed up getting in, and then the caution came out right before he entered, and so he had to start towards the back there.
It was a 22.63 to a 23.08 between the two. As still waiting on Noah Carpenter. Hasn't signaled if he's coming in or not. I believe his chat has been disabled for the evening. Yeah, it has been, so we will not know when he comes in and he goes another lap. It
That's
makes you
60. Hey, good evening, Stone Dragon. How's it going, buddy?
It makes you think as well if he clutched under the caution, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can save a good bit of fuel here in these things. Bronson's looking to the inside of Carpenter, so he ain't coming this lap.
Yeah, it could affect the 42, and yep, he'll go one more lap. Highest we predicted was 62, 63 or so. I think Carpenter's strategy here as well, Rob, is to try and see if he can get a lot more fresher tires here, because right now it would be 15 laps of fresher tires.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind, though, he was a little ways behind Krapser, the leader, before this, so it looks like he's coming in this time.
Into pit road, the 42 goes, ooh, loose off of turn 4 under an in, but other than that, no issues.
Krapser now has that opportunity, and Parker Retzlaff now back in 5th place, and he is starting to climb his way up. He actually has Jeremy Gilliatt just ahead of him, about 0.7 of a second, so Retzlaff is making quite a comeback here. He's probably still going to pull off a top 5 finish here tonight.
Which would not be bad for the driver of the 00, and if I do my points correctly, that could be the points lead for the 00. If not, it would be very close behind the 7, which is owned by Jeff Edgar. 00 owned by Danielle Sargent.
Alex Krabser just officially took the lead last time.
Joe Carpenter is out. I think that's going to put him in second place.
Yep, Carpenter is in second. He did an 8-second quicker stop compared to Alex Krabser. I think we said it, less fuel. And look at the gap here, guys. 3 seconds.
And a lot of traffic.
And a lot of time to work, though.
Krabser take form fuel because, I mean, he really opened up a lead on everybody there. Remember, Retzlaff was, Sean Andrews was slow coming off the track.
Gerald Poole has had an incident. Sean Andrews will take a quick look and see. I think they might have been related. Gerald Poole off into 1 and 2. All alone. Off of turn 2, gets loose and spins it. Then a few moments later, he gets it backed up. Let's see if this involves Sean Andrews. Great job getting the car turned.
And a great job by Aaron Hillebush to not throw the yellow out. That was very close to being the yellow.
Retzlaff is back on the lead lap, guys.
Oh, Thanos just tapped it. Looked like Sean came down the track. Didn't realize Thanos was there.
Good point there. We didn't recognize that. He did take a quicker pit stop than Alex Krabser to put him back on the lead lap. In fact, it was just Krabser, Retzlaff, and Carpenter that did stops under 30 seconds to keep them on the lead lap. That gives us 6 on the same lap as the leader. Take a look at the gap between Krabser and Carpenter. The gap is under 2.4, and we've got 21 laps to go at the line. Carpenter is working a really good pace here, guys.
Carpenter has come close to that first win, but to my knowledge, he has not had his first XCAL win yet. Tonight could be the night.
Yeah, he came close at Bristol and got wrecked out because I think that was the night we were talking about him doing the dishes.
It definitely was. He came very, very close. Had a really fast, dominant performance there.
Well, I'll give you guys a correction. He actually does have 1 win from last year that took place at Lanier, where he led 287 of the 450 laps. His second best finish was a second at Texas Road Course. So a chance for Carpenter to maybe pull this off, but Krabser has come close to winning that USA International Speedway. Finished second to Kendrick prior to that photo finish that we talked about at the top of the show. Brett Meckes has crashed as well. Doug, let's see what happened if we can pull it up.
Brent was blinking really, really bad.
Ah, so that's what it was. Okay.
No crash, but Brent, one of those drivers here late in the race, starting to blink, and it's not a big surprise to see a little bit more blinking later in the run, or later in the race. But you know, these are longer races than most of these guys will ever do. So if your computer or your connection's even a little bit off, you'll have issues.
Gap is down to 1.5 seconds. Noah Carpenter is closing in like Jaws on Alex Krabser. Last time by 0.2 better for Noah Carpenter here, Robert.
I just wonder, though, is Krabser just cruising right now? I mean, he's just kind of running his same line, not making any mistakes, and we're coming to lap 260 here. We're going to have about 15, 16 laps left here.
Let's remember the rules for the end of the race as well. 10 laps to go. There will be no more wave arounds. If we're going to caution between 5 to 10 laps to go, and the yellow flag with 5 laps to go, the race will not end under caution. We go green to the end of the race. No more yellows. So,
if we get a yellow, do you come in and take tires, or do you stay out though with only 6 cars on the lead lap?
With all the cars that are on the lead lap, you do not take tires. I mean, plus it could be all scattered up. Who knows?
You look at last week, I think it was Krabser and Bear were the only 2 cars on the lead lap. I don't know why, but they went and they came in and took tires on that last restart. And it unlapped, I think, another 6 or 7 cars. And I think that's what caused that big mess at the end. I mean, I was a little shocked when they came in and take tires. Maybe they learned their lesson here this time. Carpenter's here now.
It's worth noting too, Carpenter's got some serious motivation. They're in the process of building him a micro sprint, so He definitely wants win number 2. That money, this big purse here tonight, $465 plus, that could go a long way toward tires, fuel.
For sure.
Tires
Yep.
ain't cheap.
Gap is a half second. Now we'll see here as we're in the witching hour of this race.
All right, so
Does Carpenter make a move for the inside for the win? Go ahead, Doug.
I was going to say, since we know Noah's dad, Mark, is watching, Mark, if it comes down to the last lap, is Noah going to rattle some cages? That's what I'd like to know. Drop in the comments and give us your thoughts.
You see Carpenter drove it in a little bit deeper than Alex Krapser. 11 laps to go at USA. Coming down to 2 J&S aces.
He wins this, he could even maybe buy a dozen eggs. I mean, you know.
Holy crap! If he could buy a dozen eggs and sell them.
Go!
Oh, we got to move.
Carpenter takes a peek downstairs for the lead as Krapser give it to him. How much does he drive it up top? Still drag racing. Carpenter takes the lead with 10 to go.
This is what I hate about being teammates, is you got to kind of be nice.
And he clears. Big clear for Noah Carpenter.
Wow, Carpenter on the move. Another driver on the move. Parker Retzlaff now up to 4th. Obviously, he is not going to recover, but Jim Johnson currently in 5th. Jim trying to hold off a hard-charging Jeremy Gilliott. Jim has had an awesome race tonight, man. I'm so proud of the job he's done here tonight. Hopefully, this is the start of a really great season for him, but, man, Carpenter's already starting to put a little space. They are going to have lap traffic. That may be Krapser's only hope here.
Most likely as well. And actually, Jim just got past Jeremy for the 5th position as we've got 8 laps to go. The 21 lets the top 2 go by. Let's see what happens with Mason Foster. He'll have to let the top 2 go by, but he's not letting Carpenter have it that easy, though, for right now.
That's a surprise considering they're all part of that big J&S conglomeration. He gets done.
Oh!
Whoa!
Didn't see that coming.
Holy!
Oh, he's squeezing him.
What the crap?
How low can you go, Noah?
Danny, how you feeling about this?
I think she's biting her fingernails right now.
I did get word from Mark that Noah will not use the bumper. He's going to race him clean. Obviously, he had the speed he didn't have to, but that's good to know. Noah has earned a lot of respect out here since joining XCAL because he hasn't used the bumper yet.
Absolutely, and in my opinion here, as we hit 5 to go, if he comes across the line in first place here, Robert, it's going to come all down to thanks to what I believe was the longest green flag run a driver had before pitting, over 60 laps.
Yep, we just got the green, so there's going to be no cautions to save anybody, but I'm pretty impressed. I mean, he saved. I thought maybe he was going to lose too much ground, and he's done a hell of a job. I said last year. I liked him. I mean, he carries a good head on his shoulders, and he's a good, clean race car driver. You can trust being around him out there. He's not dirty or anything. And the same goes for Alex Krapser. I mean, he doesn't drive anyone dirty. Just 2 really good guys. Really deserve to be out here where 1-2.
You know,
Give you a fun fact about Jimmy Johnson here real quick, Doug. You're going to like this. This 5th place finish, if he stays there, would tie his best finish in his XCAL career. Had a 5th at Lanier last season.
Jim is an amazing short track racer. He's also amazing in a draft. Any race I've been in where drafting comes into play, I always look for him, and he can smoke a lot of folks at the short track. So if I was Parker Retzlaff just ahead of him, I'd be a little bit worried if he gets past Cryer. But with 2 laps to go, Noah Carpenter now has a 1-second lead. He just needs one more car to get out of the way, and he has got this thing locked up.
And that is Albie Heroins, also a part of the J&S clan. Off in turn 4, Doctor's jacket in the air for Noah Carpenter. 1 lap to go at USA International Speedway. Would be his 2nd career XCAL racing victory. Hewins lets him go by on the baby bottom. Surprises us late in the going, has had a top 5 car all day. Stretches his fuel run before pitting. 15 laps of fresher tires makes up the difference, and off in turn 4, win number 1 of the season, Noah Carpenter takes it in Lakeland. And he just had enough fuel to come across the start-finish line.
Wow. Is his car really out of gas already? He is. No. I can't tell. I think he is. No, the engine's still running. He's got pressure, but not a ton. And Alex Crapser, a valiant effort coming off of turn 4 as well. Jonathan Bronson, an awesome comeback here tonight. Speaking of awesome comeback, Kendrick Cryer's come back to finish in 10th, and Edmund Jones to finish in 15th, and Ryan Seams comes home 16th. Some great comebacks here, but Noah Carpenter sits in victory lane here tonight. Great job by him, and hey, Noah, the dishes are done, man.
I think as well. I don't think Carpenter was out of gas. I think he wanted to get a cool photo moment with him, Crapser, and Hewins all together in that. So
James Johnson got around Parker Retzlaff there too at the line.
Retzlaff confirmed. Yeah, Retzlaff did confirm he did run out of gas. So for Jim Johnson, his best career XCAL Racing finish. We will get your top 3 all in here. But first, gentlemen, let's get your thoughts on a very impressive race tonight. A great race.
Yeah, what started out I thought was going to be kind of a little bit boring. It turned into be a little exciting here. With the way the cautions fell and everything. Everything was pretty clean. Good racing and very interesting there at the end.
Man,
Zach, how about you?
I gotta say, Noah Carpenter, I didn't know if the strategy would pay off. It definitely did, and Alex Crapser, you gotta give him credit. He could have gotten a little bit aggressive there because it's been a while since Crapser's been to victory lane, and that last lap out of Crapser coming through 3 and 4, man, he really sent it. But man, it was just an awesome night all night long. I'm like you, Rob. USA is usually mid-race gets a little bit boring. There was no boring points during this race. There were guys coming back all night. There were guys moving forward all night. Just non-stop excitement and a lot of clean racing.
Absolutely. So we'll bring your top 3 all in here. We'll begin with our 3rd place finisher, Jonathan Bronson. Jonathan, I know you spun in down that first restart of the race after a checkup, and I'm sure after that you're definitely pleased finishing on the bottom step of the podium. Well done tonight.
Yes, I'm very happy with, well, I wasn't happy with, that whole checkup thing on that first restart, because I was right there by the leaders, but somehow I came back, capitalized on other people's misfortune, and got a 3rd place finish, which I'm really happy with.
What positives do you take away from this run?
Not many points, that's about it. I was 8th, 9th place car, but other people had problems and we didn't. Not as many as they did, at least.
Well, great run. Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
Well, I want to give a shout-out to Aaron Hillebush in the web shop series, of course, because he puts on this whole deal. Without him, it's pretty much nothing. And Robert Colgan for doing the broadcast, and Tri-E Cooler Crew, Colgan Enterprises, JT Mobiles, Pressure Washing, and pretty much everyone that races this, so we get a field.
All right, well, we'll let you go, man. Great job tonight. Very impressive run.
Thank you.
All right, that is our 3rd place finisher tonight in Jonathan Bronson. Our 2nd place finisher is Alex Crapser. And Robert, you've caught up with Alex.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I was watching. Second time here at USA, it slips through your fingertips. What was going through your mind there at the end when Carpenter was pulling in on you?
I was just thinking, like, at first I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it on fuel because I just barely took enough to get to the end, and then so I got behind a car and started saving in the draft a little bit, and then I'm like, man, Noah's going really fast. I think he had about 15 lap fresher tires than me, and I drove as hard as I could, and it just felt like there was nothing I could do. That was a good strategy call by him to be able to make it as far as he could on fuel, and then be able to take the tires there at the end.
Did anything go through your head? Maybe would if you raced him a little different if he wasn't a teammate? Maybe.
Not really. Like I knew he was that much faster. Like he got to my inside, and once he got to my inside, it's like, well, I'm not going to turn left on him now and wreck both of us. We just we're 3 races into the season. We just need a good finish, and and it was kind of cool to go 1-2 for JNS Ace's first win of the season.
Congrats on the second. You got any sponsors or anyone you want to thank tonight?
Just want to thank everyone on the team. Thank Joe and Danielle. Want to thank everyone that puts on the show at XCAL. It's been awesome running with you guys. Hillebush does a great job. Doug, Marty, and you on the broadcast do awesome. PD kind of does everything, and he's good at it. So I just want to say appreciate you guys. Appreciate Gerald on the paint scheme and the rest of the team.
Good job tonight, and I did have you picked, so it was close, but good job tonight.
Sorry to let you down, pal.
Oh, it's all good.
Thanks, man.
That's Alex Crapser, our second place finisher. Now we go to the XCAL Racing Web Shop victory lane to talk with your winner. Noah Carpenter gets the job done. Noah, second career XCAL Racing victory. How does this feel, young man?
Yeah, it feels really good, especially with how we started the season. Not really how we wanted to go, but yeah, feels great.
How about, though, let's talk about the ending of this race. You went nearly a full fuel run, just about 60, 62 laps, gave you 15 laps of fresher tires. Was that a huge key when you thought of your strategy for the final pit stop?
Oh, I was thinking about splitting it, but I was kind of worried about a caution coming out or something. But yeah, it worked out pretty good having the 15 lap fresher tires, able to get by Alex, but yeah.
We knew as well, and your dad Mark told us too, that you were gonna race Alex clean, and just walk us through that pass to take the race lead.
Yeah, well, I don't really race anybody any differently. I mean, I don't want to ever make a dirty pass on anybody, but especially on a teammate. I just wanted to make it clean and quick so he could get down and finish second.
You had a close call as well on that final caution. Well, two close calls, I should say. First close call of the race was missing pit road. Luckily, he didn't hit the attenuator. And then the second call, the caution came out as you were entering a closed pit. Just what went through your mind?
Yeah, with the pit entrance, Zach had pulled the same thing, and I just thought it's better to avoid it and run out of gas than to nail it. So, yeah, and then we came back around, and the caution comes out, and I can't go another lap because I'm out of fuel. So we just put the clutch in and rolled to it going 8 miles an hour.
Well, pretty good money you'll get. I know it's a $465 purse at least, and Mark did tell us about the micro sprint you're building. Are we going to use some of this money towards that?
Yeah, probably all of it.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. 5 Flags next week. What's the outlook like there?
Want to go out there, do the same thing, get a 1, 2, 3, 4 for JNS Racing Aces, and just do the same thing.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
I got to give a big thank you to Joe and Danielle giving me this ride. I wouldn't be here without them. GP Land, Jerry for the paints. They look awesome. Everybody on the team for all the help. Zach with the setups. Alex helping with strategy. Just everybody.
All right, man. Well, we will let you go, man. Enjoy the win. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Noah Carpenter takes the win in the XCAL Racing Web Shop victory lane. His first win of the season, second in his career. Let's get your official results here. Doug, walk us through them.
Noah Carpenter pulls off the win. Crapser comes home second. Jonathan Bronson with third. Jim Johnson, best XCAL finish ever, in fourth. Parker Retzlaff comes home in fifth. Jeremy Gilliott comes home in sixth. Stephen Wetton seventh. Jeff Edgar eighth. Kyle Bartles ninth. Kendrick Cryer come back into 10th place. Daniel Smallwood 11th. Stephen Rex 12th. Joe Campbell comes up for 13th. Albie Hewins comes home with a 14th run. Edmund Jones makes a comeback for 15th. Ryan Seams makes a comeback for 16th. And Gerald Poole up to 17th. Jose Godino in 18th. Mason Foster in 19th. John Friley in 20th. Scott Gilliott comes home 21st. Adam and Gilliott in 22nd. Zach Edwards falls to 23rd. Sean Andrews 24th. Luke Turpin 25th. Brent Mekas 26th. Derek Olson 27th. And Austin Edwards, a really rough night out early, comes home 28th.
2 cautions in this race for 13 laps, and we had 17 lead changes amongst 5 different leaders. So again, next week we go to the 5 Flags Speedway in what should be a very exciting one. I believe as well the first time, Doug, that we have been to Five Flags Speedway, correct?
No, I think we were there
Yeah.
last year. Correct me, Robert.
Yes, we were there last year.
First time I broadcasted it then, but what did we learn from last year that we could take over to year number 2 there?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, pit road is about the same as it is here. Someone gonna hit the pit road entrance. I think Petey actually hit it last year, if I remember right, and a couple other ones. So I think you're gonna see someone slip through them marbles trying to get on pit road at Five Flags. I think you're gonna see a lot more pit strategy with 2 and 4 tires, because I remember last year the way I had my car set up, I was actually firing off a lot quicker just taking 2. So it's going to be very interesting. It's nice to do some back-to-back short track racing. It's going to get interesting next week, and I think I might even enter and run that 94, give Kyle a break.
Looking forward to that. So with that, we will bid adieu here tonight. That'll do it for us on How to Suck at iRacing. A shout out to Doug, as always, working the controls here. On behalf of everyone at the XCAL Racing crew, Aaron Hillebush, our president, and PDJ Zeller, a big part of this, I believe our VP still, if not former VP, or VP Emeritus, and all the fine drivers and sponsors. On behalf of Doug Burns pushing the buttons, my co-commentator Robert Colgan, Marty Sakala signing off. Congratulations to Noah Carpenter as he takes the win here at USA. So long, everyone.
Any race I've been in where drafting comes into play, I always look for him, and Carpenter now is a 1 second lead.